Hi guys, it's Amy. Welcome to Strength Reversed, and thank you for joining me. I have a weekly spread that I'm going to share with you that I created really out of necessity. Now, I know there's nothing new under the sun. There are so many weekly spreads. Lots of people do them, and so maybe you already do something like this, but I haven't been doing this, and I created it out of necessity because of the week that I had last week, which was Halloween week. It was pretty grueling. So, you know, I do daily draws, and I've been feeling lately, well, intermittently, I feel like at the end of the week, okay, I just finished this week of draws, now what? Who cares? What was that about, really? And I feel like a lot of the draws are a little bit disjointed. And, you know, I pull the card in the morning, and then I pretty much forget about it until before bed, and I do a reflection, and it is brief. And I mean brief, okay? I write it in what I call my spiritual planner, and I just write down my initial impressions of the card, of the meaning of the card, and also maybe how it played out during the day in just a general way. Because it's not my journal or my diary, so I don't go in too much detail there. But then I get to Sunday and go, so now it's just the next week. And I've been wanting to bring all of that information together. And what kept coming to me is distilling the essence of the week or the essential message of the week. And that's the wording that kept coming to me, is distilling this meaning. And so I'm calling this my weekly still. So I'm going to put the cards into the still and drip, 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 voila, the essence of the cards. And maybe some alcohol too, if I'm lucky, you know. So this came about because last week, things came up at work that were bigger than what they were. You know, have you ever had those experiences with people that, they engender a lot of emotion, and so you know that the experience is bigger than that person, that what's bothering you is not actually that person, it's because they have triggered something, they've stepped on your toes, and it's just goes to the core of some truth or some pattern or something. And I had some stuff happen with one of my coworkers. Now, they don't know this, so it wasn't a big deal, but twice this person did something that I didn't like, that stepped on my toes, that I didn't agree with. You know, this is someone that I get along with for the most part at work, but I don't think I would be friends with her. I don't think I'd be friends with her because we just seem to have very different outlooks and philosophies, including teaching philosophies. So something happened early in the week in a meeting where I feel that her policies and philosophies don't necessarily help create better people. I don't think that they are very empowering for students sometimes. Anyway, and then something else happened later in the week that really bothered me. Now, I go all out for Halloween in my classroom. I said this in another video, and I do the same 2 stories, and I decorate, and everyone knows that I do this. And there's one story that I do whatever the last day is, either on Halloween or the day before Halloween, and I dress up as the character. And this year I did not do that. I didn't get the opportunity to do that because I created a brand new lesson for this story that I hadn't done before. And we get through this lesson And half of my class is like, and we read this story 2 years ago in Miss So-and-so's class. Which this teacher who I teach with now taught that grade 2 years ago. So she taught these students 2 years ago. If you're a teacher, those words are probably the most annoying you can hear. We already did this, and you know, that violates teacher code. Okay, when you teachers put dozens and dozens of hours into a unit or a novel or, you know, whatever, and so you can't just do it. You have to make sure that you're not stepping on toes. And that's just kind of teacher law. It's professional courtesy in my field. And so it's not the first time that has happened with this particular person. And so and because it's like my favorite time of year and it's something I do every year and everyone knows that, I was pretty insulted. I was mad, okay? And anyway, that was a rant. So this triggered, how was this connected to a weekly reading? This triggered something bigger that I wanted to look at. I needed to see more of the symbolic meaning behind some of the things that happened. So I decided that was a good week to because I had been kicking this around for quite a while. I need to find some sort of weekly reflection kind of a thing to do instead of just having these daily draws that are not tied together. So anyway, let me show you the cards so you can, that I put through my weekly still, and you can see the essence of my week, which turned out to be not half bad. All right. There were some interesting connections. Okay, so here is my week in the bottom row from Monday to Sunday. And my week started out really strong, and you can kind of tell it rolled downhill. And I have a couple of decks going here. I have my purse deck, which is the cheapy rider weight, or probably, I don't know, universal weight knockoff. And then I have the Light Seers, and I have one card from Santa Muerte, which was on Halloween. So my week started off with the Seven of Pentacles and ended with the Eight of Pentacles, which I thought was pretty interesting. And there's one pentacle right in the middle. That one pentacle that it was like 7 plus 1 is 8. Anyway, so the Seven of Pentacles is interesting because it has come up, that energy has come up several times. That feeling, that idea of being patient and not having instant gratification, but I've sowed the seeds, and now I just need to be patient and wait for them to grow. That came up for me a couple of times last week, not in tarot actually, but in a rune that someone chose for me, twice, the same one. And so I started the week with that energy, and I was kind of excited about it. And then on Tuesday, I had the King of Cups, and I was feeling like I really saw through some illusions and didn't let things rock my boat too much. I'm working on honoring my personal authority, and I think I was really successful that day. And then you can see Wednesday, things kind of took a turn, and I decided, what can I scratch off my to-do list? I have to put some of these wands down. What is really going to make me happy? You know, how do I want my week to look? So I was already kind of beating myself up for not getting certain things done or spending enough time probably writing about tarot cards or something. And I decided the problem was I was overextending myself and I needed to really get down to the nitty-gritty. And then on Thursday is when I had that lesson that I taught, and I went out on a limb and tried something new and sort of tried to use my talent and put myself out there, and you know, that all got shot to hell. So I was not very happy about that on Wednesday, but I had that seed there, that one little pentacle. And I guess I took it as a learning experience. I'm still disgruntled. And then Friday, I was like, whatever. I really took the easy way, and it was a pretty enjoyable day, but I took the easy way out, and I put on the Alfred Hitchcock Presents version of this story because half of them had already read it, and another teacher had already shown the damn Alfred Hitchcock, and I was like, you know what? It's not a 6th grade story. We're going to watch it, and we're going to have fun if it kills us all. This is happening. So I just was very kind to myself on Friday and made things really easy on myself. And the kids liked it and they talked about it. And it wasn't a total loss for that day. Now on Halloween, I pulled the Ace of Wands from the Santa Muerte deck, which I think is really cool. And it's a lot of growth, a lot of creativity and passion. And I just see this luscious plant and it's all red and vibrant. And I think that's really cool after all the seed planting and whatnot. But I felt like I got my mojo back a little bit. I had another reading from Lady Knight of Avalon and Amethyst Ascension. They were live and they gave me a reading, and I finally caught someone live, which I usually miss, you know. And what came up in the reading, but I need to be patient. I have sowed all these seeds. I need to just let them grow, and, you know, it's not instant gratification, and, you know, same kind of message. And then on Sunday, I pulled the 8 of Pentacles, and I felt I got a lot done on Sunday without being busy. And I told myself, you know, those tiny steps where I don't have to meditate for an hour. I could just do 5 minutes, and that's already 5 minutes more than I usually do. So instead of not beating myself up for meditating for an hour, I could just do 5 minutes and check it off my list and feel good about myself and build that habit. So I feel like it's the next step after 7, and I liked the energy that I put into that day, and I felt like I got a lot out of it. So what I decided to do to distill the week was just pull 3 cards to kind of condense, like what was the bigger energy of the week. Because it was really busy and really scattered, and all the days were just disjointed. There was a disassociation happening. And so I smooshed it all together, and I got something really interesting, which was the Hierophant, the Page of Wands, and Temperance. And the Hierophant is, of course, 5, and Temperance is 14, so that's 1 plus 4, which is 5. So they're kind of related cards. And I am having a temperance year this year, so that's, I was excited to see that. And what I take from both of those cards is this balance between the inner and the outer. And that's really what I've been working toward. I've been talking about feeling, having things feel real, because I feel like all this just goes right out the window as soon as I get out of the car in the morning. I pick my card sometimes in the car or before I come to work, and then as soon as I get in school mode, this is all out of the window, and I want everything to feel real. And so I'm trying to find this balance between what's spiritual and what's mundane, and my work life and, you know, my outer life and my inner life. And that's what both of these cards are about. The Hierophant is more, whereas the High Priestess is inner wisdom. This is, you know, expertise that has, you know, come through study and feeling a connection to, you know, not just your intuition, but just other kinds of wisdom. It's like a body of knowledge, and it's intellect, I guess. Looking at things more intellectually. And I feel like okay, that's fine, but then I have this Page of Wands, which is just pure energy and joy and spirit and taking chances, and look how much fun she's having. And I'm kind of trying to get those to work together. to see something more balanced like this, where I'm balancing the inner and the outer, and the world with, you know, spirit, and making something bigger and making meaning out of it. And then I pulled one last card. Like, this is that drop that's coming out of here. This is the overall message of, you know, add all this together and what this meant. And that was the Knight of Pentacles. And I look at this and see this guide planting all of these seeds, and he's getting it done, and it's deliberate and it's slow. And what came up for me again was just baby steps. And this has, I even made a spread called Baby Steps, which I should probably go back and look at. And you know, those little tiny steps where I'm just doing a little every day instead of the whole thing all at once, and then beating myself up because I should have finished and I didn't do enough. And I've always kind of been like that. My perfectionism has really stood in the way of growth sometimes, because it's all or nothing. And I feel like if I can't do it perfectly, I don't even start. And I think a way to remedy that is to bite off smaller chunks, taking smaller bites, 5 minutes, and feeling accomplished instead of 0 minutes and beating myself up, or, you know, holding myself to a standard that's not very realistic. When I've worked all day, I'm really tired, and honestly, I don't want to spend an hour meditating or journaling or whatever. I just need to kind of sit and not have any expectations of myself sometimes. Or, you know what? I need to mop the kitchen floor. I'm going to be honest with you. It needs to happen. It needs to get mopped. Okay. Anyway, ooh. That was helpful, and I think I might try to do this, I'm going to say every week, because that looks good on paper, but when I have a week where I feel like I need to do this, or I'm called to it, I'm going to do it. Thanks for listening to something so ranty, and thanks for distilling my week with me. See you next time. Bye, guys.